أمر على المنطقة وزعزعت أمر واستقرار شعوبها. شكرا جزيلا على حسن الاستماع.
شكرا. نعطي الكلمة للسيدة بيغا فاطمي، إيرانية حقوقية إيرانية مختصة في مجال الإعلام وكذلك في الجماعات الإرهابية بالشرق الأوسط. تتفضل مشكورة.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sadi.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to focus on the human rights situation in Qatar. And based on the human rights situation, I'm going to talk about the last UPR that Qatar had. It was in 2013. Actually, the last UPR. What's the recommendation that Qatar received? I'm going to talk based on all these recommendations. Qatar received 183 recommendations, accepted 135, noted 38. Between these accepted, but I want to just say 8 of them that Qatar accepted but contradicted. I'm going to talk about the civil and political rights, development, disability, ESC right, which is economic, cultural, and social rights, freedom of association and peaceful assembly, freedom of opinion and expression, freedom of religion and belief, and migrant. Just these 8 that they accepted and is not exist in the country, we want to talk about them. Political rights. Every one of us, we know about it, that the political rights are the minimum basic things that we should know and have in all the countries. The first point is election. How is going to be election in the Qatar? The head of the state is Emir, whose family hold the monopoly and political power. The Emir appointed the prime minister and cabinet. This is the major power in their hand. The first election that it exists in this country is advisory council, which is called Majlis al-Shura. Majlis al-Shura, it has 35 seats, that 15 of these seats is going to be chosen by the Emir. And the rest of the 30 seats, they are going to be elected, which is from the 2013 till now, it's no election. 2013, they postponed it for 3 years, and after that, the 2016, they postponed it again for 3 years again, and it's no more election. The political parties, the government does not permit is not any laws and is not any permit to exist any political parties in this country. Functioning of the government, decision-making authorities, is concentrated is the hand of the Emir and his family. Additional, this creationary political rights questions, if they wanted to do, citizen can petition election, local government representative who have limited power over municipal services. And if we wanted to take a look of the civil liberties, how is the civil liberties in the Qatar? Freedom of expression and belief. What is it? And how is it existing there? The Constitution guarantees freedom of expression. Both print and broadcast media are influenced by leading families and subject to state censorship. The main daily newspaper are privately owned, but their owners and boards include members of the ruling family. In 1996, the Emir permitted the creation of Al Jazeera, the TV network that has achieved the global reach. Although it is privately held, the government has reportedly paid for the network's operation costs since its inception. Al Jazeera generally does not cover any kind of the political situation in Qatar. If I want to talk about the activists and the people that they are working in there as a journalist, maybe every one of us, we know lots of journalists that they are active and they are working. It's one of them he called Mohammad al-Ajami. He was in March, Qatar's emir pardoned and released the post, whom an appeal court had sentences to 15 years in prison in 2030. Actually, I was reading and searching about him. I had 2 years. It was 2012 and 2013. I don't know which one is truth, but from the amnesty, I found it in 2013. The basis of the content of a poem posted online that criticized Qatar's ruling family and other Qatar rules. The other option is associational and organizational right. While the Constitution grants freedom of assembly and association, these rights are limited by law and practice. The other problem in Qatar, if we wanted to take a look, is the migrant, and every one of us for sure that we hear it a lot, the migrant workers that they are working there. Less than the 10% of the Qatar's population of 2.1 million are Qataris national, and the others, they are all migrant actually. The country has been increasingly dependent on migrant labor. As Qatar continued to build the stadium and develop the infrastructure and preparation for hosting the 2022 FIFA World Cup, that which is, it makes a lot of corruption, and right now it still is a lot of topic on it. It's not in my professionality, and I don't want to spend more time on this topic, but I want to talk about the right of the workers and actually ILO. How is the situation in there? Is low pay migrant in there, the workers, that most of them, they are from the Asia, and some of them they are from the Africa. They continue to face abusing and exploitation. The workers typically paid exorbitant recruitment fees. Employers regularly take control of the workers' passport when they arrived in Qatar. They take a passport and they had to work for the workers and for the employees. And many migrant workers complain that employers fail to pay their wages, or they don't pay at all. But that's a good news that we recently had in 22nd of August 2017, a few days ago. The Emir of the Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, ratified a law numbered 15 on service worker in the home, domestic workers law. The law guarantees workers a maximum 10 hours workday, a weekly rest day, 3 weeks of annual leave, and end of service payment of the least 3 weeks per year. The law does not, however, set out of enforcement mechanism. And about the mechanism of the women's right, which is it has again the long story. If we want to talk about it, and about the women's right, it's a law, the number 22 of 2006, on family and personal status continues to discriminate against a woman. Under Article 36, a marriage contract is valid when a woman's male guardian concluded the contract and 2 male witnesses are present. Article 58 states that it is a wife's responsibility to look after the husband and to obey by her husband. Other than Article 57 of the family law forbidden husband from hurting their wives physically or morally. And generally provision on assault, the penal code does not criminalize domestic violence or marital rape. In the end of, if we wanted to take a look at these parameters of the human rights item that they accept it and they don't follow it, and what they don't accept it, that is the death penalty, detention, enforced disappearance, torture, and other CID treatment. ILO ratified the third optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and also the women's rights. They are all denoted, which is they didn't accept it. By this government, and if you wanted to take a look of the part of the second part of this side event, that is, which is a terrorism, that I wanted to borrow these sentences from the other panelists that he talked. It's about Muslims brothers, actually Ikhwan Muslimin, which is they have the power, but this power is from where? Who are supporting them? And we wanted that every one of us to be aware of that and to be against, and every one of us, if they have a word, we can to stop some things. This money and this support is come from the Qatar, Iran, and Turkey. And all of them by the supporting, which is Iranian, and we have as the same as this Ikhwan Muslimin in Iran, is no difference actually. We have as the same as in Iran, and we wanted that all of them they stopped by all this force and every kind of the mentality that they are following, and is against of the human rights, is against of the all the rights for the humanity. That's a big duty on our shoulders. Then is okay. Okay, then because I don't have enough time, I prefer to finish it here. Should to just to finish it in this way, that because I had to talk more about the Ikhwan Muslimin, but I think that the others they can do it. And I would thanks to everybody, and I give it past to the another one.
Thank you. Thank you.